Good evening, everyone. Hello. We're kicking off this month of August in entrepreneurship. It's a marathon weekly show with a special guest speaker, Shauna Vassell, to give you the do's and don'ts and share her insights on her transition to full-time entrepreneurship. Because you know my story, but I'm sure you might be tired of hearing it. But that's okay. I'm gonna keep on saying it. But tonight it's not about me. It's about Shauna. Because here's the thing. You're busy, right? But you're thinking to yourself, but is it time to delegate? Is it time to delegate? So all this month long in August, I'll be sharing tips on team delegation strategies, leadership must-haves, and so much more to help you simplify your life. Tonight, though, Shauna Vassell will be sharing her story on her transition from doing her business and entrepreneurship while doing her day job, which I always tell you guys to do, right? And then now she's transitioned into a seasoned and full-time entrepreneur. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Because let's be honest, yes, you do want to further fuel the economy and hire people, but at this stage of your business, that may be an option for you, but that may not be. So we're going to go through different things and different tips and tricks for those who are new. So what's happening here tonight in Entrepreneurship is a Marathon show. Tuning in to my lovely commercial. Chat with you soon. One sec. My name is Vanessa Zammi, the best-selling author of Finish, the Solopreneur's Guide to Getting Stuff Done. I'm the creator of the Hustle and Breathe Business Accelerator, through which I consult ambitious 9-to-5ers like you on how to grow their profit-producing, purpose-driven business without the overwhelm. Your efficiency, your productivity, and profitability, so that you can reduce the overwhelm and confusion in your life. You can enjoy your life. Entrepreneurship is a marathon. And if you've chosen to step into that marathon, yes, let's go. So, as I always do, folks, right? What's your win of the week? Let's start with the win of the week. What's been your win? It's only Tuesday night, right? The show is always airing, but that still doesn't mean that there hasn't been a win. That means there was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Or you can even cheat and say, what'd you do this weekend? Right? From the last episode, last Tuesday. So what has been your win of the week? Type it in the comments. We want to hear about your wins for the personal, business, both, all the things. My win of the week. What has been my win of the week? I never know. I never prepared for this question before. But I probably should, but I really don't. I just what's a positive thing that happened to me the past couple of days? Let's see. My win of the week has been a win of the week. Yes. Essentially, was onboarding a new client, and she was able to retrieve and achieve some milestones into her business. That's my win of the week. Continue to help people. That's my win of the week. So what about you, Shauna? What's been your win of the week? And I didn't give you time to figure it either. You didn't know that. What's your win of the week?
I'm gonna go with some personal, but
yes.
My partner and I have been wanting to do some hiking trails, so we're actually scheduling some time to do that this Saturday. So
awesome. Taking action. Had the words, had the thought, and now taking action. Being that Saturday, I look forward to the photos. Yes.
It only took 2 months to figure it out,
but you find the time. Yes, love it. And for those of you, so yes, in the comments, what has been your win of the week? It could be personal, it could be business, or it could be both, because it all connects. As an entrepreneur, right? As a CEO of your business, what happens to you personally affects your business. Okay, you may try to leave it at the door or leave it at the screen, whatever it is, right? But it's not what actually happens, as you know, and as you probably experienced. Not what actually happens, right? It's a vibe, it's an energy, it's a whole bunch of stuff. With that being said, let's introduce Shauna. For those who are new, who's this other chick on the screen? So Shauna Vassell, about our guest, right? And for those, Shauna's here. She's a seasoned entrepreneur, a business growth strategist, and a leadership coach. She's the founder. As a founder of 2 businesses, Shauna knows about the highs and lows that come with scaling and growing her business. Specifically, her journey to becoming a full-time entrepreneur started when she was doing her business as a side business. Yes, as I tell you guys to do, right? And with that being said, she now works with coaches and creatives to scale and grow their businesses by getting out of their day-to-day, so they can step into that role of CEO. She'll go into more detail of that tonight as well. In a past life, Shauna has been director of strategy and led multi-billion-dollar transformation changes in the public sector. I did it in the private sector, but the public sector is admirable. Love it. And Shauna's spirit animal is the Starbucks chick on logo. Her motto is coffee is life. As you guys know, I run on water and sleep. That's okay. We can still be friends. And when not working and changing lives, Shauna hanging out with her amazing family and Bidges anime series. And so that's Shauna Vassell, everyone. She's going to be going. We're going to be having a lovely conversation with her tonight on Entrepreneurship is a Marathon, right? Because this show is for you as that entrepreneur, as that solopreneur, looking to move forward on your vision and your mission and your purpose. Because yes, it can be frustrating. And yes, it can be discouraging, right? And yes, it can even be overwhelming. But it doesn't have to stay like that. It doesn't have to stay like that. And so, Shauna, in your own words, tell me about yourself. What's the most important parts? What do people need to know? How did your business start? What was your first business that you started while doing your day job? Right. And what was that business? And let's start with that.
Oh my God. Okay. So I think the first time I actually thought of myself as an entrepreneur, I think I was like maybe about 6-ish. My dad bought Barbies and I don't play with Barbies. So what I did was I used to like rent them out to people so that they could play with them. And then I would just get either money or to buy candy, or I would get like Hot Wheels car or whatever. So I didn't play with Barbie. So I used to just rent them out. So that was like my first taste of it. And then when I got into corporate, I was literally trying to climb the ladder. And then eventually I was like, what am I doing? And then I started doing career coaching on the side. And career coaching actually led me into entrepreneurship because I was doing that first. And I was doing that like for a good couple of years because someone had said to me while I was on the job, saying to me, okay, why are you not paying for this stuff? And I said, I don't know. I just want to help other people do them, like just get something out of their lives. And this is fairly easy to me to just do it because I was doing interviews all the time. So it just made sense. But then when I stepped out and I started doing it, I was like, oh my God. And I can tell you more stories about that, but I stepped into career coaching as my side hustle. And that was my first kickoff to just being in the grind as a side hustle. And let me tell you, there's lots of lessons there. I can tell you lots and lots of lessons.
We're going to get into the lessons. Yes, we are. So, and what made you decide to keep your day job while doing it? Like, what was why not go on? Because a big thing I talk about here, and just in general, it's just the big myth that I go against is the idea that you have to like burn all the bridges and like, go homeless and make your business happen and like cut it all off and like we will succeed. Like, no. So I'm a really big advocate of people essentially keeping their day job while doing their business to have that capital flow and all that jazz, and then get themselves to a place where they can then calmly and confidently make that full-time transition. Right. That's what I help my clients through. So why did you decide to keep your day job?
So I actually kept my day job because I also had a son. So I'm a single mom. So when I thought about my day job, I was thinking, okay, well, I got to kind of make sure I plan this thing out. So I'm not just going to jump into anything. And plus, it's not like I didn't like what I was doing. I just knew that based on the organization, that was going to be my cap. It's like everybody liked what I did. And then because everybody liked what I did, it was just where I was going to stay for a very long time. So I just said, okay, well, if I wanted to really build a legacy for my family, if I really wanted to kind of get that self-fulfillment, it wasn't going to happen here. I knew it was either I was going to hop out and jump into another job, or it's just going to figure out how can I make money with my knowledge, the things I knew. And career coaching was just for fun. I was really doing it just for fun because I was doing it all the time. Like I was helping people. I knew the hiring tactics. I knew how to kind of get people to position themselves. It was just one of those things that was easy to just help them to take that transition and position themselves as a person so that they demonstrated the value that they wanted to have someone else see. So it just was a good transition. But when I thought of it as a full-time gig, I had to make some reservations around that because I had a family, I had a mortgage, I had bills. So I couldn't just like play with the money like that. I had to make sure that whatever I was doing was going to cover that. So when it came to the side hustle part, I just kind of made sure I kept building the clientele. And let me tell you, I do not regret it. I do not regret it because I ironed the hell out of my process. So when it came time for me to hop out and make it full time, I knew everything was already like ironed out and I knew exactly what I needed to do.
Yes, love it, love it. But it wasn't easy, as you mentioned, right? You had to iron it out, you had to do a lot of things, right? And I know as well. I made that transition myself, doing my day job while doing the 6-figure salary in the private sector, corporate business politics, moving up the ladder at the same time, knowing it wasn't going to be full time, or no, it wasn't going to be full term, full life, like so to speak, right? It wasn't going to be a long term thing. At some point in time, you have to acknowledge that and become aware of that. It's like the employee to employer mindset, right? Where there's a point where you're like, still like, well, maybe I can do a little both, maybe, but then at some point you realize, no, it's not.
You like kind of have both. No.
Yeah, or like, maybe I can have like two, I can do the business and I can do the day job and like, sure. But then you realize the day job is not really what fulfills you, right? And so at some point you got to make that sort of mental shift. Even if you don't make the physical shift, you make the mental shift, what helps you to drive the roadmap and plan that fuels the actual physical shift when you actually leave the day job. So love. So what were the challenges? What would you say are some challenges that you face that you look back on it and you're like, whew.
I think the biggest thing that I ran into when I think of like that experience, it was the money mindset. Like so the first year I literally made, I want to say maybe like $3,000. It was nothing. It was like nothing, absolutely nothing. And I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? And I couldn't figure, and I was thinking about it. And then, I was literally playing the volumes game because I was not putting prices out. I was not really hustling. I was just kind of like casually telling people about it. And then I did too much pro bono work. And there was so much of that, that was ingrained in, I love what I do. I don't, it's not that I need to charge money for it because I'm kind of working. So I don't really need the money. So it wasn't like it was pushing me to leave. And I actually fell into the trap of staying in the job because I actually thought maybe I could just hang out just a little bit longer. It's not that bad. I can do both. But what it did contribute to was that money mindset blockage that I was avoiding, which was raising my prices and actually having conversations about how much money I wanted and what my ticket price was going to be. Because when you start creating that price tag and you're building it based on your own value, then you start thinking about, oh, well, it's not that much. It doesn't take me that long. Or all these things come up. And I was like, yeah, but at the end of the day, if you can take someone who used to be a struggling manager or senior manager to like get them promoted to a director, or to get them not blacklisted with a group of people so that they can build better networks, how much is that worth? That's worth quite a bit of money. So it's kind of, I had to put things in perspective, and that took some time, and that took me kind of stepping back and looking at that. So that's why when I even decided to move and shift away from even directly career coaching, I started kind of cultivating the type of clients I wanted. So that's why I said I ironed out my process, but I also ironed out who I wanted to work with, because that was a time where I started thinking, well, if I wanted to charge this much money, who's going to pay me and who's the right person? So I wouldn't be targeting just everybody that came my way. I would literally target the people who made sense in terms of the types of clients I wanted to work with.
Yes, there's a lot in that. So essentially, it's like, know your worth.
Yes.
Share your worth. And then at the same time, that the last part you talked about was the niching, right? So guys, if you're resonating with this, I want you to react, comment, favorite emoji in the comments. I saw someone just like, oh, we tried to celebrate someone's win. Said they booked their first class teaching through her new business. So yay, wonderful. Yes, wonderful, great. But Shauna's throwing these nuggets down here. So if you're resonating with it, I want you to react, comment, whatever video you're watching it on, whether it's the group, my business page, or my personal profile. But essentially, yes, right? So it's like knowing your worth, sharing your worth, and then also ensuring that you're niche down, right? Niching down, not just casting a wide net to everybody, right? It's a big mistake. It's a mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make, right? We all do this. We all do this. Entrepreneurs, we all this at some point in time where it's like everybody needs our services. Everyone can benefit, and it's true. Everyone can benefit. Like that's not a false statement. But in terms of how you benefit your business, it's when you narrow down on specifically, right? As Shauna was saying, who can pay for what it is, like where are you trying to go, who you trying to go
Mhm.
for, and all
Mhm.
those things in between. So thank you, Shauna.
Yeah. And when you think about that, what I wasn't doing was I wasn't pricing based on the vision I had. I was pricing based on, oh, okay, this was how much time it took me. This is how much I'll just charge this person. But no, it was bigger than that. It was more of, am I pricing it based on the direction I was trying to go? Was I do it to build the seed money so that I could leave? And I wasn't doing that. I was still like almost cruxing myself on the job and didn't recognize that. So it did come over time, but it's one of those things that I think when you're in your side hustle, you got to be careful that you're not slipping into those little spaces, because they're very sneaky. It's a false sense of security. Let me tell you about that.
Yes, those mindset spaces, right? But even something you talk about, and this is for even product-based business or service-based businesses, right? When we talk about pricing, packaging, what it is that you're offering to the world, right? When it comes to service-based, it's very easy to be like, oh, hourly, I'm doing this. It's 1 hour. So 1 hour of my time is worth this. Like, no. It's what is the value that other person is getting from that 1 hour of your time, or 2 hours, or 8 hours, or 10 hours, or whatever it may be, right? And that's why essentially for my business, I do more of the model where I work off a monthly retainer fee. And so it's very much like my clients get unlimited hours. What's the price on that, right? Like, what you gonna put it, right? So, and you can't put a price on that, right? So, but essentially, it's really a matter of looking at when you're doing a service-based business, when you're doing a product, whatever it may be, what is the value that the other person is getting from what it is that you're selling, or what is the value that they want them to see that they're getting based on what it is that you are offering to them, right? Because it is a two-way street. It's not just they're helping you by giving you money. You're helping them by giving them whatever it is that you say you'll give them, right? So remember that it is a two-way street. And so showing your worth, knowing your value, all that jazz comes to full circle. Love it. And so, Shauna, how did you streamline your life and like make the whole business life balance more efficient for you while doing your day job?
So I think the big thing that I thought about, so I asked myself a question: if do I want the person I'm serving to know that this is kind of a side hustle thing? So I didn't want them to ever feel like what I was doing was like a side hustle. And I know that when you think of that, it's about the client experience, right? So I actually took the approach of mapping it from the client experience that I wanted them to have to the very end.
Love
And
that.
so that's what I did. So I actually focused on, okay, when they reach out and they were going to get in touch with me, what exactly do I want them to see? Where do I want to take them? What documents do I want them to have? What timing do I want to be able to respond to them, so that I can also create that that kind of expectation. And then also kind of looking at how do I onboard, offboard, nurture, and kind of to get paid, and then on top of it, be able to kind of do the service delivery. So I was thinking of it from all different angles, because I wanted to make sure that when they decided to say, yes, I wanted to work with you, I had all the things they needed in place so that they knew that, okay, this is actually professional. This is no joke. Even though it might be X amount of dollars, this is no joke. Like, there's everything that's lined up in the onboarding process. There is that complimentary kind of kickoff just to do that conversation, to make sure that we channel into what's a pain point, and then we move into other things. So it was really a laid out process for them, so that they felt that it was even bigger. Like, I don't think any of them ever knew that I was literally doing it like on my breaks or in the train. Like, I was doing a lot of little things on my way home, on my way to work. Like, there was so much of that, but nobody knew. So it was all that white glove service that they didn't recognize that was what was happening. So that's how I streamlined it. I really took the time to map out everything in the upfront process. And then I looked at, do I have something they can schedule the meetings? Do they have something that they can a repository where I can keep all their information, which is my CRM? And do I have something to nurture them? And do I have something to support the delivery, which I, at the time I was using Google Drive, because I didn't have a portal. And then do I have another space that I kept like courses and just mini audios for them so that they can access information if they ever needed it. And I was like going between Podi at the time and using Loom to kind of support that. And then just using like other tools to like support all my delivery items. So like my QuickBooks, everything to kind of streamline it. And then I would do the integration, which I use a lot of Zapier. So let me tell you, when you have no time and you are, and I had high profile portfolio, so I could not just hop off and just go, oh, let me just type out this email. I didn't have time for that. So I literally scripted out as much as I could. I had FAQs ready. I had all these things lined up. And as soon as something triggered, it went through Zap and it just sent them an email and they knew nothing different. Kept it simple and just kept it moving.
Love it, love it, love it. That's my motto. That's my motto. Keep it simple, keep it moving. Yes, I've been saying that for about at least 2 years now. But essentially, yeah. So if you were to, so lots of systems help you.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, she didn't hire anybody for real, right? She just, it was herself. And then it was like,
I didn't need to.
Yeah,
not yet.
Right? Anyway. There you go. And I think a lot of people, it's like, I'm so overwhelmed. Let me get an assistant. Like, it's just like that's sort of the trend these days. And it's been a trend for maybe like a few years, but it's like, I'm so overwhelmed. Let me get an assistant. Or there's so much to do. Let me get an assistant. Or I don't have the time. Let me get an assistant. Or, and it's one of those things where I did a post about this a few months, like earlier in the year, but it's like about the differences in assistants even. So, but also thinking about what is it that you actually need help with, and then looking at what are all the resources available to you, right? And that might just be something as like an existing app that already exists.
And the thing about it is, you really want to make sure that you, as the business owner, have an understanding of what the flow needs to look like before you even bring someone on. Because it doesn't matter if it's someone who is an expert in tech or expert in just administration and support, you're going to have to tell them what you do. So it's better to have that flow mapped out in advance and have that plan in your head and literally ask yourself, what kind of experience do I want the person on the other end to have? And how am I going to track all the stuff that's been going through the business through any form of metrics? And really, like, it literally has to be the simplistic way of just going from step 1 to step 2. That's it. You don't need anything else. You don't need any fancy tagging. You don't need anything. You just need to know, okay, well, if I would normally write an email, can I add a template into Google so that when someone responds to me, it already has a template in Google and I just pull it up and just fire off that template and just change a few things? Or can I use that template and just put it in Zapier and just get Zapier to pull the information from the CRM to do that? And literally you can get those like step-by-step walkthroughs on YouTube. So I didn't bring someone on until later because I didn't think it was necessary. And what it did help me to do is I already had these things kind of written down because I was recording stuff because listen, I get old. So I don't remember anything. So I just kind of just record stuff and just go, oh, this is what I did last week. I had no idea. So that's what I did. So I was recording, I was writing things down. So I always had something that was like at least there available. So when I did that, I already had a blueprint for someone that I hired because I already had a lot of these things. So when they came on, I was literally just kind of whipping them out and just going, okay, well, this is what I want you to do. Here's something I recorded. Just go in and make sure it still makes sense. That was it.
Yes, love it. And the thing is that I learned that the hard way when it came to hiring people. So that went the route where I was like, yeah, I can just add someone new. And then like I tried it, and then I found myself, essentially, they were great. They were great in their like skill set, but I wasn't able to leverage them because I was a hot mess. I talk about it. If you've seen my show before, you probably know I talked about it a few times, but it's like, I was a hot mess, so they were a hot mess, and we were just a hot mess. And so, and it really just wasn't effective, right? And then I didn't like realize it at the time. It wasn't until like 8 months later, I would then hire 3 new people onto the team. And I realized I had a whole streamlined like onboarding process for them. I had like slides. I had like a whole like step by step and like all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I see the difference now, right? And so, and the thing is that I was able to do that for them. because at that time I knew and understood and like was well versed in the process and my strategy and what I was doing that I then needed to outsource. And so I felt like I said, I needed to outsource. And so that's what I did. And so, but I was able to write all those things down because I was clear and focused on it. So then I'm clear and focused on it. But yes, absolutely. And I love how you also emphasize you all time on that back office. Because people probably listening, they're like, oh, it takes so much time to set up the app.
I know.
And this, the template, like, right? Probably the same. What's your response?
But you know what? I think if you just, and what I would say to anybody who feels that way is just focus on one thing, just one thing at a time, and just record what you do in that one thing. Even if it's just a screen recorder, just to see how you're moving the mouse so that it could just record what you did. That's it. Like, just, you don't have to make it a chore. You just got to make sure that whatever you're doing, you just replicate it, because you're thinking about how can you not do this anymore, because realistically you should not be doing some of the admin stuff, some of the work that you need to do, because your main business probably is not what you're doing. And the only way to really get you like prepped and prepared for that is really that you start being at least intentional in terms of how you're going to like store things, save things, record it, and just make sure that someone else can pick it up. I always tell people, and I can say I get it. My background is process reengineering as well. So this is stuff that I've done in past life as well. So I knew that I had to do this stuff, but I know how hard it is for some people who this is not their jam. And this is why I'm saying, like, if that's you and you're listening, I'm just saying, anything you do, if you decide that you're going to open a doc and write an email, and 9 out of 10, if you wrote that email in almost the same way to almost every other client, then just make a copy of it. Copy and save it. You don't even have to know what Google template is. Just copy and save it in your PC drive. That's it. Copy and save it. So the next time you don't write it over. That's the first step. That's something that will save you time, at least that 2 minutes. And then the next thing, just do it again and try to like cut down your time. If someone asks you the same question 5 times and you say, all right, that's an FAQ. Then the response you sent that other person, you just write that down. That's an FAQ. When someone says, okay, I want to work with you or have your service, literally just send them, like, finalize that FAQ, send it to them and say, oh, just in case, I wanted to make sure that if you had any questions, here's a list of our FAQs that you can take a look at before we meet. And that way they're already prepared and you don't have to answer these questions. It's as simple as that. And all you're looking for is how can you save 2 minutes here, a couple of minutes there, so that it all comes together at the end.
I love it. Love that tip. Copy and save, folks. Copy and save. That's, if you learn nothing else from this episode here, it's a copy and save.
Copy and save.
Copy and save. So we're wrapping up. We've got about a few minutes left. And so I wanted to give Shauna a chance to say, so how can people stay in touch with you, Shauna? What new products do you have going on that you should be keeping on the lookout for? And yeah, let us know.
So in September, I'm actually launching a program. So it's a Scale to Grow program. So I work with entrepreneurs who wants to take their ideas into execution. So if you want to learn more about that program, I would say you can follow me at concaveservices.com. But on Instagram, that's where I hang out most of the time, is Koncave Business. So KONCAVE business. Okay. So you can always hit me up on any of those platforms.
Awesome. Love it. I put it on the screen at Koncave Business. Type it up. So yes, love it. So everyone, if you're looking to learn more about Shauna and what she has going on, Shauna Vassell, everyone, yes, from side business to full-time entrepreneur, and even as a single mother, yes, as well. So follow her at Koncave Business, and remember, folks, copy and save. For those who are looking for,
you just got to get your time back, people. That's it. All you got to think about, how can I get my time back?
Yeah, love it. And for those who are looking for strategic support, feel free to, as always, find on my calendar, power.bzandy.com. And I look forward to connecting with you further. Remember, every Tuesday, Entrepreneurship is a Marathon live on Facebook, 9 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. Chat with you later. Have a great week, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Oh, wait, someone just loved the tape, which was comment up here. This is great. Okay, cool. There you go. Now bye. Bye, everyone.
Girl.